what? Vaccination.
Yeah, he's married to Jenny McCarthy, and the two of them convinced a bunch of people because they're celebrities that vaccinating your kids leads to autism, and a bunch of like inconclusive research. Well, like less than a year later, that was proven to be horseshit.
which
So,
uh, which has something in common with EA, right? Horseshit, and EA.
golden poo.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Pre-Rendered. I am your host, George, simply Georges Benitez, and here I have with me, as always, Rico, Swaggertron, Gale, and Wade Sheridan. Back.
Yep, boring, old,
I just
white bread Wade.
White bread Wade. There you go. That's a nice one for you. White bread.
I just want to go on the record in saying that I'm to be associated with swag in no way, shape, or form.
I don't know. You got some swag. You're black. You got it. You know. Of course, I'm not being
Swag
racist.
is terrible.
Swag, bro. Swag. You're a Swaggatron.
I hate you.
How you guys doing?
Awesome, man. How you doing?
Doing all right. Even though some rough things happening today when we're recording.
Yeah. I heard about that. You guys heard about that Boston stuff?
Yeah, we won't get political, but our thoughts and condolences go out to everyone in Boston. It's a terrible tragedy.
And yeah, I hope everything pulls through and all that. So, let's move on to what you're playing. So, Rico, tell me what you've been playing this week.
Still rocking the Arkham City. Not going very fast. I'm just trudging along at the moment. Just kind of like the game is fun, but I don't progress too much because I keep flying around in investigation mode, and I can't resist the urge to beat up people. But at the same time, it's like it creates like a crisis of conscience because I'm like, man, Batman's just kind of like flying around the city, just beating up people for no reason. All they're doing is just standing around. And I'm just like, sorry, guys.
In the city you made for them.
Exactly. Sorry, guys. I can attack you, so all of you guys are getting knocked unconscious for no good reason.
Have you noticed how all the bad guys have the same voices, same voice actors?
Pretty
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
Like
It's
Nolan North and
Nolan North,
Steve Blum.
And
Yeah.
yes. Yeah, it's the same four guys that do all the thug voices, but I don't really mind so much because those guys are. I am kind of partial to it, I suppose. So
After a
enjoying it a
while,
lot.
it started annoying me.
Are you like? I mean, aside from all that, but continuing through the story, do you is it getting better? Or is it getting worse? Are you enjoying
Yes,
it?
I'm actually liking it right now. I
Where-
just got up to the part. I'm approaching Ra's al Ghul, or Ra's al Ghul is how I like to pronounce it.
Okay.
So I'm excited about that.
Okay, I remember that.
Has anyone spoiled this game for you, Rico? Like, do you know what the
Nope.
ending is?
Nope, nope. I know nothing about it
I
actually.
can't
Okay,
even
good.
remember
I'm
the
glad.
ending, to be honest with you.
You
ending,
thought what?
I can't even remember the ending. I thought
It's
it
an
just
epic ending. It's awesome.
is it?
Yes.
Okay. So, Wade, what have you been playing? Still continuing your
I
escapades?
wrapped up Bioshock Infinite, and I love the game even more. Everything I said last week, times 1,000. I love this game dearly, and it's definitely one of my favorite games this gen. It's definitely up there. The ending, like you said, did melt my mind, and I'm still thinking about it.
Don't spoil it
it-
for Rico.
I won't. But
or
it's truly
listeners.
it's truly the ending that if you decide to go back and replay the game, it's like the ending that like keeps rewarding you.
Yeah.
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah.
There's just so much more you can find out and discover, and little things here and there you're going to be like, aha!
Yeah.
And it's totally just amazing in how you can go back and like research all these things, and it's crazy. When it happens, it's a lot to take in, and when it did happen, I kind of felt like whoa, back up a second, this is too much, and I kind of wish it was more open-ended. But now that I've given it some thought, I love the way it is.
As for me, just same as always, just playing League of Legends. I guess I have like a mini rant to go off. I'm not the best at League of Legends. I know Rico used to play with me. And I just want to talk about this new champ that recently came out, I think like a week ago or maybe 2 weeks ago. And his name is Zach. Yes. Have you played him, or have you?
No, but my friend told me about his abilities and stuff.
I think he's terrible. Like,
really?
He is a bad champ. Like, again, I'm no like pro, I'm no expert, and it's just like I'm just kind of like seeing what he does. He just seems to be more of an annoyance than anything. And I've played against a bunch of them. I've had him on my team, and he just absolutely does nothing.
Are you sure it's not the players? And
it might be the players. Himself? It's just like, because the way he works is like he doesn't have mana, and he uses his health to cast his abilities. And when he uses his health, like a piece of him, because he's like made out of jello or whatever, a piece of him like goes onto the ground, and he can gain that health back if he steps back on the piece or whatever. And you also have the ability to step on it and get rid of it, so he won't get the health back.
Oh.
So. But all of his moves are like simply just dashing, like movement type of moves. Like he can pull himself back and slingshot himself forward, and then he's got another move that he can bounce around and knock people up. But that's like all he does. Like, he doesn't do any damage. He's just kind of there being annoying. And then when he dies, he splits into like 4 pieces, and you have to kill all the 4 pieces before it comes back together, or he'll be revived. Kind of like
that's
a
cool.
It's cool, but he's lame. Like, he doesn't. It's like, oh, okay, so you can knock people up. It's like Wukong does that, and he does damage, and he can stealth, and he can, actually fight people. Like, I've witnessed people playing with Zach, and I rarely see him doing any damage. Then again, I could be playing with bad players, but it's just I haven't seen a good Zach ever. But yeah, that's my little.
How's Renekton? I heard he's really
Renekton
good.
is like one of the best top champs. He's freaking broken.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's what I like to hear.
All you got to do is get like 2 items on him, and you can pretty much not build anything else, and you would dominate. But that's a lot of bruisers now. Bruisers have shot up in the season 3. So, but anyways, yeah, that's pretty much all I've been playing this week, and that's pretty much what I usually play every week. So until something new will come out. All right.
I've been playing. What about XCOM? You don't play that anymore?
Nah, I finished that. I beat it like twice or 3 times already, and
wow.
Yeah.
Loved that game.
It's a pretty quick game.
Yeah, it's kind of short. I beat it once already.
It's like the better you get at it, then the quicker it goes, because you know which moves to make. It's because there'll be after a certain amount of turns, something will happen, and you all that.
Wait, like what? What?
After a certain amount of turns that you take, then the story will progress with or without you. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
You have like those sections that happen. Have you beat it yet?
Yes.
Okay, but like when those global things happen, like you have to do a mission for the council or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the story progressing, and then you also have to build those items that they're requiring you to build, and then once you build those items, your story's progressing, and you have to do the mission, because the more you wait, then you're racing against the clock, which is pretty much the fear levels or the panic levels in the countries.
Gotcha.
So you gotta quickly take care of everything. Like when they give you objectives, you got to get on it, and the faster you get it, the faster you progress. Faster things go down, like the panic levels go down. So yeah, and when you get better at it, and you know what to build at what time, and then it gets a lot easier. You can beat it quickly. Because I've restarted it so many times after failing so many times.
Yeah, my first. I think it took me about 6 restarts before I got 1 successful game in.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes. Because usually, like, by the first mission, like main mission or the first council mission, when I first started, like I would already have like 2 people gone, like 2 continents gone. Like get out of here, you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, I've yet to have a record where 2 people didn't leave. So I hope to beat this one and then start a new one where I don't fail.
Right. All right. Well, let's wrap this up and get to some topics. All right. So this week we're going to do something different. Usually we will give you a bunch of news stories, and then do a main topic. But this week we're going to just cut all the crap that, people don't really care about and just focus on the main stories that happened over the week.
Do you really care that NHL 14 got announced? Do you really?
And then the fact that they're improving the punching mechanics, so you can yeah,
that's in the game?
Yeah, well, there's always been fighting in the NHL games. Okay, see, you see what we're doing right now? We're
talking about it.
We're talking about it. We're giving them the attention they don't deserve. So we're going to talk about Batman was just recently announced, the new Batman Arkham game, Origins. So Wade, why don't you tell us about it?
Well, last week we were talking about Arkham City because Rico was playing through it, and I was like, what's going on with this franchise? When are they going to come out with a new one? What's Rocksteady doing? And then I think it was literally the next day or the next day after, they announced Batman Arkham Origins. Now, it has nothing to do with Rocksteady. It is not their game. They're not developing it. Instead, it is Warner Brothers Montreal, which is a new game studio that I'm assuming might have just been put together to do this. Whether or not they are going to be taking over Batman or what Rocksteady's up to has not been confirmed. I mean, we all know Rocksteady's going to probably be working on something, but who knows if it's Batman related. Maybe they're leaving Batman to go do something completely new, and that's why this team is coming in. What's interesting about it is it has been a while since Arkham City, so it was due time for a Batman game, so I understand why this is coming out, but some people seem to be feeling uneasy about Rocksteady not making it. But I just want to say that I still have complete confidence in it because this whole generation, there have been other teams taking over franchises, and the results have been good. I think back to Halo 4, that was a new team that came out fantastic. I think back to Bioshock 2, which I just played, and I actually prefer Bioshock 2 over the first one. What else is there?
Blasphemy.
No.
Continue.
Gears of War Judgment, wasn't that a new developer? And that got good scores from what I see. So, I really don't see the whole,
I don't think that was a new...
It was People Can Fly instead of the...
Oh, it wasn't?
Cliffy B and his team.
Okay, gotcha.
At Epic. So, I don't really ride with the whole, well, it's not made by Rocksteady, it's gonna suck. And I was like, yeah, you guys are all gonna buy this game anyway.
Yeah, but you gotta understand that, you gotta understand people's concern over that, because we've gone from so many bad Batman games, and then Rocksteady came from the heavens and delivered us Arkham
this game
Asylum.
is going to use the same assets. It's the same series,
but, it's... I don't know. I felt like when they said that, it was just trying to reassure us, don't worry, it's not going to suck. It uses the same Unreal Engine or whatever. It's you're telling me nothing, because it's okay, so it uses the same engine that they use. KOTOR 2, going back, way back, Knights of the Old Republic 2 was made by Obsidian, and it used all the same assets that, KOTOR 1, used. So, KOTOR 1 was probably one of the best RPGs ever made, ever. And then KOTOR 2
Those
came
are strong
out.
Words.
No, trust me. You play KOTOR 1, you would know, alright? You would know. People know. The people know, okay? It's one of the best RPGs of all time. Anyways, so when KOTOR 2 came out, it was a huge disappointment. Huge. I personally blame Obsidian, and they and then what was the other one?
Fallout New Vegas.
New Vegas. How buggy that game is. That's another thing about their games. Their games are all buggy.
Well, see, at this point, are we blaming a new team working on a sequel, or are we blaming Obsidian?
I'm just saying it could go that way. I'm just leaving options open, and just saying, just being the bearer of bad news. This could be a bad game.
Yes.
I, for one, have confidence in it because I was watching that video, and there was a Scottish guy that was also in charge of the production. And if it's one thing I've noticed is that the Scots, they know their way around comics. I mean, look at Mark Millar. He's a Scottish guy, does amazing comic work. Also Neil Gaiman, also comic book writer, expert Batman writer as well. So, given the wealth of I suppose talented Batman connoisseurs that come from that spot, I'm going to use that as my reason for confidence. That, and
That's a
I also
stereotype.
Scottish people are good with Batman. I mean, it's
but
it's in
but
their
also
blood.
another thing is that what I've been seeing is that corporations are starting to understand comics. And that's a sort of a double-edged sword, but I sort of, the positive that I'm choosing to look at the moment is that they're finally adapting it properly. Look at the first comic book movies that came out; they kind of sucked. But what was his name? But Iron Man 3 came out and it was fantastic, and they learned from that and adapted. Now
Iron
the
Man
same
3?
with, I'm sorry,
Iron Man
Iron Man 1, which led
okay.
the way up to 3.
Are
Sorry.
you from the future?
And then conversely, with the Batman series, you started with we went from a slew of really, really terrible Batman games. So what I'm hoping happened is that Rocksteady was like, guys, relax. This is how you do a Batman game. And they were like, all right, you see how you did that? Now this is how you expand that to be an even better Batman game. So hopefully, I'm trying to be an optimist, and I'm hoping and praying that they're going to take this knowledge and they're going to be like, all right, well, let's adapt that into something better.
Well, they seem to be focusing on, it's supposed to take place before the
Yes, it's
the whole
before
thing.
both Arkham titles. It is an origin story, and the story,
On Christmas Eve.
yeah, Christmas Eve in Gotham, and it's, I could get this number wrong, but 6 or 7 bounty hunters are in Gotham, and they're all out to get Batman.
Yeah, 6 of the world's greatest assassins.
Supposedly, this is going to be the first time he's encountering a lot of the villains, right? Is that
as
what they
it's a
said?
sequel, it's going to be his first time encountering a lot of these guys.
Now, one of the
Which should be
bounty
interesting.
hunters is Deathstroke, aka Slade. Some people most know him from the Teen Titans cartoon Slade. He's an awesome bad guy, and what was interesting is that because this game was announced on Game Informer, and on the Game Informer cover of Deathstroke, Slade is holding Robin's staff. So I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah. But anyways, back to like who's developing it. I thought this was interesting. The lead designer of the game goes by Eric Holmes, and he was the lead designer of the Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction, which is a fantastic
Love that
game. And this next game, which I think is like people are 50-50 about Prototype. So he made those 2 games, and now he's making Batman Arkham Origins.
Well, he's definitely proven he knows his way around a sandbox.
Yeah.
And a sandbox too.
The Prototype was bad, man. That was a bad game. That was.
Some people liked it.
I did not like that game. Like, it was, it was Ultimate Destruction, but with like a storyline that really sucked. See, I gave Ultimate Destruction like, the pass because, it's just the Hulk, and the game was meant to be just destroy everything.
Yeah.
It's kind of almost arcadey, like, Rampage type of gameplay, but
there's also like search elements and shit. I remember now. Like stuff.
I always remember the giant balloon guy thing that you can jump on or something. I can't remember, and you can throw him.
I can't remember that either.
I can't. Something like that. That rings a bell. I could be just lying.
And the release date is for October 25th for PC, PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and Wii U. No mention of next-gen consoles. And yet another nail in the coffin of me getting a next-gen console for a while, because now I got a Batman game coming to PS3.
Now, I hope the reason why they're getting this other team to do it is so Rocksteady could be doing maybe another one, maybe just continuing the actual storyline.
It's unclear.
Or maybe a Justice League game, and they need more of the team.
You're going. That's a bit of a stretch. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
That's a fanboy's wet dream. Yes.
Yeah, that's a dream.
This is starting to sound like last week's episode.
Your Green Lantern RPG.
Oh yeah.
Maybe that's what they're making.
maybe.
Oh man, I
We've
can
been
only
right
dream.
so far. I mean, we
Yeah, we're
we
on
called
a
the
roll here.
announcement of this one. We called the announcement
Blood
of the
Dragon.
Blood Dragon and the Mickey Mouse thing. We're on a roll. Maybe they're listening to our podcast.
That'd be awesome.
Rocksteady, it hasn't been clear. I mean, maybe Rocksteady's just doing something. For all we know, this team could be taking over Batman completely, and Rocksteady is done with Batman,
Right.
or they're making another one. Who knows?
I kind of hope that, WB or Warner Brothers, whoever is running the show over there, kind of like lets them do what they do and not get in
Yeah,
their
I
way.
agree.
Like they've proven themselves two awesome games that have improved on themselves. Maybe personally I don't like City as much, but you can tell that they improved things that needed to be improved, and I really hope that in the future they're just like let them do their own thing, kind of like how like Activision goes with Blizzard. Like, yo, Blizzard, we're together, but do your own thing. Don't, we won't bother you. You release games when you need to release them, even though a lot of their games have kind of been on the decline lately. Anyways, that's beside the point. Speaking about
On the decline.
and
Segway.
bad publishers, EA once again has been announced the worst company in America. 2 years. They're
They got a
keeping it
streak
strong.
going.
They got a
Years
streak.
running. Beating Comcast, beating Bank of America,
Yeah.
beating like.
So why don't you
Man,
tell us
well,
about that, Rico?
Yeah, the Consumerist magazine. They like to do a yearly survey of the worst company in America, and this year, for 2 years running, America voted EA as the worst company. Now, they cited quite a bunch of that. I know a lot of people are probably thinking, oh, but EA is a game company or whatever. I'm sure they're worse companies. But you have to consider the fact that, firstly, this is Consumer Magazine, so naturally they'd be going from the perspective of the consumer. And secondly, this is a little bit, I suppose, personal to me, because I consider myself to be a consumer of video games. It's one of the few things that I spend money frivolously on. So I guess this is one of these really good things to see EA actually being held accountable, because those guys tend to run amok with customers, man. It's pretty bad.
But do you honestly believe that like this is the worst company in America? Like, do you feel like is this fair to say that they're the worst company in America over Bank of America? Bank of America is a pretty bad company. It's a pretty bad bank.
Yeah, Bank of America has I would say, more influence than EA has. So in that regard, that would make them a bit more powerful.
I really think that this is still people freaking being butthurt over Mass Effect 3's ending, and they're never gonna get over it.
And it's kind of close to the whole SimCity debacle also.
Exactly, and I don't think that these guys are the worst company. I think they just made a lot of bad mistakes in recent memory. Mass Effect 3, in my opinion, wasn't a bad game.
That's exactly what the CEO said too.
Oh yeah. See, I don't feel they should have done that too. They write like a letter. It's like, we're not.
They
that
wrote
bad.
a preemptive "we're not that bad" letter.
I think
before they won the award.
That's stupid. But
they saying exactly what you said. We don't think that we're the worst company in America. You're sure the companies like Bank of America have been worse.
Right. But they made a few mistakes. I mean, big ones, and their greed is kind of showing. But I feel like if we stop purchasing their games, stop supporting these guys, then they'll start to wake up and realize that maybe we should stop all this greedy tactics. The whole thing with the what was it, Dead Space, how they stole, or not stole, but they selling like small DLC things in order to
microtransactions.
Yeah, the microtransactions crap, and all these.
Which they stated they wanted to put in every game until fans were like, "Are you high?" And then they were like, "Oh, sorry, we meant every free game."
Yeah,
it was misconstrued.
They're kind of taking advantage of the system, and I feel like it's our duty is, I don't think voting for the worst company, it's not really going to do much to them because people are still buying their games.
Yep.
Um,
It's the sports games, bro. The sports games dominate.
yeah, they're really the only ones that make them.
But why do you think that is?
Yeah. But
I look at it this way. I see it from both sides. I think EA is far and away not the worst company in America, and there's tons of others. But when I think about it, this is like an online poll, and we already know how the internet is. Number one, so they are just gonna troll, and we're gonna pick EA because we hate them. And true, EA has
because they're on the list.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, why not a company like, I don't know. Who made those Four Locos drinks? Because like people died off of drinking that. Like, why aren't they the worst company?
That's
or
the
like
people's fault, though.
Or like,
anyone could tell you that alcohol and caffeine is a bad idea.
Or like Taco Bell, isn't it like every day like they find some new thing about the food that's in Taco Bell?
I'm pretty sure Taco Bell has surprisingly some of the cleanest food now. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know if
you work for Taco Bell now, Joe?
I'm pretty sure I read that somewhere. Like it has like probably.
And anyway, there's tons. I mean, people who make everything. There's tons worse. But it is the internet, and EA has made a lot of dumb decisions and a lot of annoying decisions. Now, on the other side, though, the microtransactions thing, it is annoying. But the fact is, they keep doing it because it's successful. They wouldn't keep doing it if they weren't making money off of it.
They're making money,
very true.
And they're going to keep doing it.
In reality, the same people who might be voting for EA to be the worst company are the same people who are fueling like these microtransaction stuff and buying all this stuff. I think EA still puts out good games, and at the end of the day, that's all that should matter. Now, also, I think that winning it 2 years in a row, wake up, EA, wake up. You won it 2 years in a row. Even if you don't agree with it, and like you can make the argument that this isn't fair, you still won it 2 years in a row, and that should make you realize something, right? Like, shouldn't it start to click in your head that we need to do things differently just a little bit? I mean, 2 years in a row.
But it's not their fault. It's the homophobes and whiny Madden fans. This is also EA's words, by the way.
The what? The homophobes and the what?
EA admits it can do better, but blames worst company success on homophobes and whiny Madden fans.
If there's whiny Madden fans, all right, because this gets me worked up also. Back in 2005, when they had NFL 2K5 and Madden 2005, and NFL 2K5 was $20, and everyone was like, well, we're going to pick them because the game's so much cheaper and so much better. Guess what? Nobody did. Madden still beat it out in sales while being double the price. So Madden people need to be quiet. You had your time to change things, and you failed, all right? So that's the end of them.
It's pretty funny.
But yeah. That's EA. You won it twice. Let's try and avoid not winning it a third time.
It's gonna be difficult because the internet never forgets.
Let's try.
No, they don't.
They would literally have to change everything about their company and make sure every game that comes out from them is a perfect 10 out of 10 in order to impress people on the internet.
They put out good games. Like, what's a bad EA game?
I'm not disagreeing.
SimCity 5.
No, SimCity is actually a very high-rated game.
SimCity is good. It's just the issue is the DRM.
Just the DRM,
yeah.
Which that's a whole other topic entirely. But
yeah, just start doing little things, guys. You're not winning it a third time.
It's just the mistakes upon the mistakes and upon mistakes, and then they're upset. I think they're really upset the way BioWare has turned, and they're putting a lot of the blame of BioWare's mistakes, and I'm almost certain that most of these mistakes are from BioWare and not really from EA. Maybe EA has been pushing them, and they may have been pushing them to do certain things, but that's not really a big deal. I feel like most of the mistakes are from BioWare, and they're blaming EA for these mishaps. Like, they're blaming EA for the Mass Effect 3 ending. They're blaming EA for how dumbed down Dragon Age 2 was, and that was all they needed. Like, oh, that's all the proof we need. It's like, before that, I'm trying to remember before that, like, how bad EA was, and I can't remember it before those two games back to back.
With Origin and stuff like that?
Origin, yeah. I mean, but then again, when you're starting something new, Origin still sucks, but it's hard to defend. But it's not that bad now, but it's still pretty bad.
Even to pick on EA, let's think of other companies in the gaming space. I think there's worse game companies besides EA. Why weren't they voted for?
Well, because
where's Activision?
They didn't put out Mass Effect 3 with a bad ending.
Where's to me, Activision's way worse than EA.
Why?
Activision's like, well, we have a great series. We're coming out with it every year until it's dead, and then we'll find a new series to come out with every year.
But the thing
we
is,
did it to Tony Hawk. We did it to Guitar Hero. Now we're doing it to Call of Duty.
Yeah, they're
guilty.
They're
worse.
But the thing is, their games are not bad though. Like it's just the same game year after year, and people are still going to buy it. So it's not really their fault if people still want it.
To me, that's worse than microtransactions. To me personally,
I don't think so, because the people want it. The thing about, and I always say this, I say this a lot, and the thing about gamers is they don't know what they want, but they do know what they don't want.
Yes.
And this is, they're gonna, if you keep spitting out the same game, they're gonna keep buying it until eventually they're gonna be like, okay, now I don't like it. They can't call it ahead of time. It's only until.
So you've wasted all that money in 2 years of your development team's life.
And they're gonna, they're making money off Call of Duty still, and they're selling. I mean, I believe the latest one sold less than Black Ops 1, but I could be wrong. I haven't looked at the numbers. But
that's what happened to Guitar Hero. They should be careful.
But
that decline was
quick.
Yeah, I mean, but still, they're still buying it, and I think it also plays a big part is how long this console cycle has been. I feel like once they start showing, if they show, maybe at E3 next gen Call of Duty, I feel like the hype train is going to shoot right back up. You know what I'm saying?
We'll see, or something new will overtake it. But I mean, and then I'm going to go back to Square Enix, which you just said gamers don't know what they want. And when it comes to Square Enix, gamers do know what they want, and Square Enix will never give it to you.
Yeah.
So why are they not voted the worst? You know what I'm saying?
Well, because they're not a US-based company.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's true.
It was on US companies. Okay, I see. This isn't
the point of the contest is basically to enable consumers to send a message to a company that provides goods and services that they use. But again, like you said, because it was done on the internet, those who it reach is a little skewed, or the audience reach is a little skewed.
Is the IRS or DMV considered a company or no?
I don't think so.
I think
I
those
think it's just like a government
agencies.
service.
Yeah.
Because I would imagine those should be voted worse than.
Well, again, they're government services, so you don't really have a choice.
I
they can afford to be that bad.
I would take back services because they're not really servicing you.
Yeah.
They're just government things that piss you off.
Agencies?
Yeah.
Still waiting on my income tax check.
Yeah. But, I mean, if you guys had something to say to these publishers, like, what would you say? And pick whatever you want. Like, if you can pick, Square Enix or whatever. Just pick one that you dislike the most, and what would you tell them to do? For next gen. Well, what would you want to say to them?
Oh, snap. Well, I'd go for Square Enix, and I'd be like, come on, guys. Like, what are you doing? Release all the... we like the interactive RPGs, the sort of the midway ones that really work well, like Kingdom Hearts. They were working on Versus 13, and I saw a few videos of that, which looks very similar to the Kingdom Hearts vein, but more... the play style was more Kingdom Hearts, but the setting and the look of it was more like later Final Fantasy. It was more mature and a little bit more rendered.
Right.
And the whole thing looked really epic. It was very good. There were times when you were in the streets and you were running and fighting. You were in the field to show different game modes, lots of things like that. But, it's like, where are these really, really good games? Instead, they'll release to us like a watered down Final Fantasy where they're trying something that's just like completely off the wall. And I'd like to see not only a little bit of a return to what really made them stand out. You know, the classic and the where you tell a story, not a super complex story bogged down with like infinite amounts of ridiculous detail, like Wade brought up last week, Falsey, Lassie, like Cocoon. I was like, what? Dude, come on, man! It doesn't need to be that in depth, okay? It's one series. Just take me on a 40-hour journey at least, please, with some side quests on it, and a couple of unique looking characters that work well together as a team or with different combinations.
Who asked for Final Fantasy 13-3? Who asked for it?
Lightning returns again.
Loves that Lightning. They love her.
Yeah, they do. I mean, I like Lightning as a character. I enjoyed Final Fantasy 13 and 13 too.
I did as well.
But I will be the first to admit to you
Does she have any character? Because when I played Final Fantasy 13, she just seemed monotone and characterless, just no emotion. I'm Lightning.
Well, okay, her character does evolve a bit, but you're right. She's super bland, dude. Jesus.
I mean, I get that you can blame probably the voice actors for that, the English stuff, but yeah, I don't know. None of those people sound like they had real character or interesting characters.
Snow did. Snow sounded epic.
Like, yeah, he sounded epic, but he just seemed like a douchebag. Snow is the guy with the trench coat, right? Yeah, I'm gonna be a hero.
Yeah, that was like his catchphrase, right? It's God. Hero time.
The fact that he has a catchphrase.
Hey, he's cool. Leave Snow alone. He was useless though. He was so useless. He didn't do enough damage, but he did do it. I mean, he kind of defended them well. But anyway, I'd like to see Square step their RPG game up. You know what I mean? They've been putting out a lot of really watered down repetitions of the same thing that has been.
They don't even have to put out, Final Fantasy. They can make other.
I agree. They can. Yeah, exactly. Come on, do something new. We'd love to see that team do something new.
What about you, Wade?
A lot of I agree with everything Rico said about Square Enix, and I think a lot of the people hating on them now is because we used to love them so much.
Yep.
We just loved them so much, and now they are just like that ex-girlfriend who broke up with us and broke our heart, and we just hate them. But anyways, for companies that I want to change, I have a couple. I'm gonna mention Ubisoft, and everything else they do is fine and great. What happened?
Oh, I missed Ubisoft. They haven't put out stuff in a while. Good stuff anyway. Sorry.
I would disagree, but go ahead.
I like Far Cry a lot now. I never really liked the Tom Clancy games, but I know other people do, and they're popular, and that's fine. My main issue with Ubisoft is how they handle Assassin's Creed. All was gonna be forgiven with me if Assassin's Creed 3 came out as good as I imagined how it was gonna come out. And it really didn't. It didn't live up to expectations. And then 6 months afterwards, they announced Assassin's Creed 4, and I already see commercials of it on TV.
Yep.
Come on, guys, stop. Stop.
But the thing, I wouldn't give Ubisoft too much, crap, because if you remember, in last year's E3, they stole the show. Meanwhile, freaking Xbox, PS3, and
But see, how are you
crap.
gonna feel?
We're sucking it up.
How are you gonna feel if Watch Dogs starts coming out every year like Assassin's Creed
But the
does?
thing is, the fact that they announced Watch Dogs, that alone shows me that these guys, are better than everybody else, because they're going with a new IP, for a new console, and they're taking the leap. They took the leap first before everybody else. And Assassin's Creed 3, though it wasn't as good as 2 or what is it, Brotherhood, and according to some people, I thought it was pretty good. But they said that they've taken everything that people said about 3, what they didn't like, what they did like, and they're putting it into 4. Yes, 4 coming out so early is kind of a drag, but I think our opinions of it would be a lot different if they didn't name it 4. But that's, a whole other thing entirely.
No, I was totally gonna forgive all the Assassin's Creed sequels if 3 was gonna come out how I wanted it to.
Right.
And I still think it was a good game, but it wasn't. My main issue with Ubisoft is Assassin's Creed. What I would want them to do is to chill out on it. Now, this one is like for everybody, but I'm mostly going to pick on Sony and Microsoft, and I'm not really going to pick on Nintendo because I know the Wii U does have an online store, but who uses that? Anyways,
Who uses the Wii?
for PSN and XBLA, this is the cold hard truth. Steam is kicking your guys' asses in terms of prices. They are uber competitive to the point that it's ridiculous. And I see on my PS3, I see a lot of the sneaky shit that Sony does, alright? I'm a PlayStation Plus member, where they give you free games every now and then. This is what they've been doing in terms of sales in the PSN store. They will give me like a free game, right? And then you wait next month, and then that free game will be what's part of their sale. And I'm like, why would you put this on sale if I just got this for free? And then it has, because when things go on sale, there's the regular sale price, and there's the PlayStation Plus price that's even more discounted. But it's like, what? You just gave me this for free, and then now you're offering it back to me at a lower price.
But the fact that they offer that is, I mean, you can't compare that to Xbox because Xbox doesn't really offer free games.
Right. So,
what does that mean, free? What is that?
What?
So, but like what I'm saying is like the pricing of XBLA and PSN is ludicrous, and I think the prices of games are really starting to get to me. And I just think prices need to come down instead of going up. If game prices go up to $70 next generation, I don't know if I can take that. But if they do, I hope not.
That's but you're comparing XBLA to whatever
PlayStation Store,
Steam. No, when you compare those, when you compare them to Steam, you can't because Steam is for PC. And the PC market is a lot smaller, so they're gonna try. All those deals have to be confirmed and okayed by the publishers that sell them. Okay, so
would you really say that Steam is that much smaller now than PSN or XBLA?
I would say that the PC market, is a lot smaller than Xbox and PlayStation, the console market. So they can get away with putting stuff really cheap because that's the way it's gonna sell on the PC, that's just how it works,
I understand. I understand you. I never thought of it.
Like Tomb Raider is $50 on the PC and it's $60 for the consoles. It's
right.
Because.
Well, see here. Look, you don't.
You got to give people a reason to buy it on the PC.
Do you really think though it's that crazy though that because Tomb Raider $60 as a digital download on PSN? But it's $50 download on Steam. Like, you don't think at least as a digital download it could be $50 on PSN, but in the store it's still $60? I think it's ludicrous that the digital downloads are the same price as in the store.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, again, both XBLA and PlayStation really need to up their online service. I mean, especially Sony. But
yeah, definitely.
I mean, but that's a whole other topic. In general,
they've been getting better though.
They have been getting better. And the bad thing about Xbox is they haven't changed. They've been up there and then they've stayed there and they haven't tried to innovate or give me reason to explain why I'm paying $60 a year for a service that's
Yeah, that's why I haven't renewed mine yet because the only reason why I have left to renew it is the last couple DLCs for Mass Effect.
Yeah, but again, that's going off topic.
And then lastly, I want to pick on Capcom because I still love you, Capcom. I really do. Just this generation, you guys tried too many Western things that I don't think came out good. I didn't like Dead Rising. I didn't like Dark Void. I didn't like Lost Planet. I didn't like, what else did they come out with? That's like these Western-centric games. I think you need to stop. And
I love Dead Rising.
Well, I didn't.
A lot of people love Dead Rising.
I like Dead Rising more than their fucking.
The first one.
Whatever that. Yeah, the first one was great. I didn't care for the second one. You didn't
like that timing thing.
The what?
You didn't like the whole timing. Oh, if I don't get here and at this time, I fail the whole game.
But it was like an arcadey game. It was fun to play. I didn't really care too much about the actual story of the game, but it was fun to play, and it was different than Resident Evil, and then when I want to play Resident Evil, they didn't give me Resident Evil. That's what you should have a problem with.
I like Resident Evil 5 a lot.
No,
I like
you
5 a
don't.
lot.
No, you don't.
I do.
No, you don't.
I
No, you
think
don't.
5 is the best co-op game this whole gen. Crickets. Anyway.
It just gave me cancer.
I would just like to see
I'm
Capcom.
sorry, George.
I would just like to see Capcom more focused, less on the Western stuff, and bring back Mega Man. What the fuck? Where's Mega Man been?
I'm sorry, my brain is still stuck on the best co-op game.
Name one that's better.
You could go with any of the Halos for best co-op.
That's not a game designed around co-op, though. That's like
I
feel like that's cheating.
And
I want you
Resident
to pick
Evil
a game.
5 was crap. As
No,
just the
I want-
game, it wasn't Resident Evil. See,
But it was a great co-op game. It's better than any other co-op game this gen. I really believe that. I think Halo is cheating. That's come on.
It's not cheating. That was one of the greatest things about the original
That's not
Halo.
built around co-op though.
It was
I'm
one of the selling points of Halo as a game. It was the fact that you can play with your friends and doing the co-op and hopping in the Jeeps and stuff like that, or the Warthogs. That was a big selling factor. That and then the multiplayer. The whole
The most
multiplayer
fun-
aspect was what sold Halo originally. But
The most fun I had playing with a friend was in Resident Evil 5. That's
and then what else was Gears of War was an
Ugh.
awesome co-op experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gears of War was pretty fun.
It's definitely way better than
I don't even like
Resident
shooters.
Evil 5. All right, you can't even bring that up. You're hurting my soul. Wait,
Flaring nostrils on my end.
I'm about to just virtually punch you in the face for saying Resident Evil 5. Best anything is that's
No. Best co-op.
it's co-op and the fact that you guys can shoot at zombies together.
It's fun. A game is really like you cannot survive unless your partner is helping you out. Like it is a
And when
total.
you play single player, you
Yes.
can't survive at all because
I'm not talking about the single player. I'm talking about the co-op.
I'm just saying
the
the game in
co-op.
general. That is a bad game.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot. I haven't played 6 yet.
Yeah, well, that shows you how much you liked 5. It didn't want to make you come back to 6.
That's pretty
No, because
funny.
I don't have anyone to play with on 6. If I had someone who's gonna do co-op, I'm like, hell yeah, I love 5.
Yeah, okay.
But you're the only person who bought the game, so that'll never happen.
You're the only one that loved 5. Oh man. But yeah.
Did you have any companies, George?
I would say my company would probably be I'd probably go for Square Enix and just make Final Fantasy VII again. All will be forgiven. All
City.
will be forgiven. Just remake it. That is one game, the only game I want a remake of, because it's pretty much what defined Square Enix as such a successful company.
Yep.
That's what put them on top, in my
Yep.
opinion. And people want to revisit that. They bought your shitty spin-off games, freaking Dirge of Gay and
There's a Cerberus.
and
There's a Cerberus is cool though.
no, it
No, it
wasn't.
wasn't. I apologize. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that at all. I played it for like 45 minutes, and I think I still have the game somewhere here just for nostalgia purposes. But the game's terrible.
Yeah, I think I still have
It's
it.
practically unplayable.
Yeah, it's a really bad game. That, and then what was it? Before Crisis wasn't that good either, which was for the PS.
PSP?
I heard that one was good.
Definitely isn't.
Someone lied to you, sir.
Yeah. But yeah, it definitely didn't sell any PSPs, even though I bought my PSP for that game, and I
Wow,
read it.
that's a fan.
That is a fan. Yeah. It's an expensive paperweight, and that's what it was. But yeah, they need to listen to their fans. That's all they need to. Their fans are crying out for Final Fantasy VII, and they're pumping out more and more crap that nobody cares about.
Kingdom Hearts 3 people have been
Yes,
screaming
Kingdom Hearts
about.
3. they're still pumping out more crap for the 3DS and PSP and fuck, fuck Square.
I've had this idea for a cosplay. Let me know what you guys think. That I would show up to a convention and like I would kind of like look like I'm stupid, right? No offense to
Stupid
but
people.
I would look like stupid, and I'd have on a business suit and like maybe a sign that said Square Enix employee or something, and I would just be shouting out like Kingdom Hearts 3 never and like stuff like that.
We don't have
Like-
a market for that game.
Like maybe I
Nobody
just like
wants
start. I just start drooling when I mention Final Fantasy VII, and I'm like, FF7, that's old.
Guys,
It's a terrible idea. Wait. What were you gonna say, Rico?
I would say one last thing. I would
What?
love for SNK to stop fucking around and make a 3D fighting game already, man. Seriously.
Why?
Because
I like the 2D new
And-
King of Fighters. They're pretty good.
I understand, but
Didn't they make a 3D King of Fighters that was complete ass?
they did. No, I like both of those games, and I played and bought both of them. But they haven't made one since probably at least a decade. No, probably not 10 years, but in about 6 or 7 years or so, I'd say. They haven't made a 3D one. They've been all 2D. But they make one every year. They've been pretty consistent about dropping a fighting game every year. But I'd just love to see a 3D one, or in the style of like Street Fighter, where it's 2D, but the characters themselves are 3D instead of like having the actual 3D fighting as they did in a couple of the previous iterations.
Right.
Or let's team up and make Capcom versus SNK 3 Fight of the Century.
That would be cool too. I wouldn't mind that. If it'll bring back some of the rival school characters. Damn Capcom.
But,
This has been episode 3.
exactly. We're ending it. Wade is ending it, apparently. All right, guys. Thank you again for joining us. I know this was, a little different than we usually do. Let us know if you guys liked it. If you didn't like it. Let us know in
Like
the
us on
comments.
Facebook.
Like us on Facebook. Subscribe to us on iTunes.
5-star rating.
5-star rating. And I also want to give a shout out to All Hail the Mustache. It's the band that did our intro music, and give them a like on Facebook.
Definitely.
And,
Tell them to make more songs because that one was awesome.
yeah, it's some pretty good stuff. And check them out and tell them we sent you. Have a good one, guys.